Hey guys, welcome back to Fitness Fridays. Today we're going to be focusing on warm-ups. Now the warm-up presented in this video is just a good general warm-up that you can use for a variety of training. Whether you're going to be on the ice, in the gym, or on the field, these movements will help prepare you to get to work. Hope you enjoy the video. Alright, so in this warm-up we're going to start off with some general movement. Just going to kind of jog down, back pedal back. We're going to take that into just some skips with some arm movements. So here we're going to go with the chest fly. You can also go with some arm circles, anything that's going to kind of get your upper body moving around. From there, we're going to go with some lateral movement. I like to shuffle. So we're going to get nice and low on our hips, be up on the balls of our feet. We'll shuffle, and then we'll transition that into a karaoke. You don't have to do these movements. You just need to do something that's going to get you moving around. But I like to kind of rehearse some of the lateral stuff that we're going to do to get those muscles warmed up before we get on the ice. All right, from there, after we get done with our moving around, all right, we're going to get into some mobility. This first one's a knee hug. Big cue here, as you pull up on your knee, you want to extend through that opposite hip and get nice and tall. It's a good cue to tell your body, as you go through hip flexion, we want to go through hip extension in the opposite leg. After that, we're going to go heel to butt. All right, it's going to stretch your quad, your psoas, your hip flexors, things like that. So you're just going to kick your foot up into your opposite hand, point that knee in the ground, and push your hips forward. And then we'll go heel to toe walks. The reason I like to do this is it does actually warm up some of the structures that support the ankle. Although when we play hockey, we're in a boot. We don't get much ankle movement. We want to make sure that we kind of prepare that. Then we'll go with toe grabs. As you do these, you're going to take your leg. It's going to go out about 6 inches in front of your other foot. Make that leg nice and straight. Reach down. Try to grab underneath your toes with both hands. It's going to stretch your calf muscles, your hamstrings, as well as your sciatic nerve, so you might feel some like burning sensation down the outside of your leg. That's normal. We'll go straight leg march. So as you go through this movement, you want to keep your chest nice and big. All right, kick up towards that opposite hand and attack the ground. From there, we're doing a front lunge. In this front lunge, that front knee is 90 degrees. Back leg is nice and straight. You're going to reach up and over that outstretched leg. It's going to help stretch some of the hip flexors, some of your abdominal muscles, and things like that as well as your lats. All right, this next stretch is called the figure four stretch. It's going to stretch your piriformis as well as some of your glute muscles, external rotators of the hip that tend to get pretty tight when we play hockey or skate. So you're going to make that figure four position. You're going to grab the knee and the foot, and you're going to pull up on both. All right, now we're back in that same front lunge position that we were in before. Now we're going to throw what's called thoracic rotation into that. So I'm going to place my opposite hand on the outside of my knee. I'm going to open up as big as I can. As I go to reach, try not to reach with your hand. Try to reach with the back of your shoulder. All right, after we get through our mobility, we're going to go through a little skip series. This first one's a toe tap. We're going to push through the balls of our feet, and we're going to stomp down on the ground like we're pushing on a gas pedal. Ankle hops come next. And again, we're trying to spend as little time on the ground as possible, but we want to get as much height as we can. All right, this will be 2 ankle hops into a jump. We want to hit the ground already loaded and extend up as high as we can. Mini skips come next. We're trying to attack the ground underneath our hips, and again, spend as little time on the ground as possible. These are A skips. This is the position that we want to be in when we accelerate. All right, so it's just a rehearsal of movements here. And these are hopping A skips. These are a little bit more challenging, but again, it's just a cue to get into a position that we want to be in. All right, now we're going to get into some kind of general movement patterns here. This first one is a lateral lunge. All right, so you're going to step out, push your hips back, keep both toes pointed straight ahead. All right, and keep the weight on your heels. This next one's a T-balance, so it's a hinge movement. All right, and what we're going to do is we're going to keep a nice soft knee with the foot that's on the ground. Start in a stability stance, push our hips back. You should feel pretty good hamstring stretch throughout this movement. This last one's a drop step lunge. So we're reaching back at a 45-degree angle, keeping most of the weight on that front foot. and sitting back. All right, now we're getting into infant squats. You're going to keep a soft knee. You're going to grab underneath your toes. You're going to sit back. As you sit back, it's really important to push your knees outside your elbows and keep the weight on your heels. So next movement's a sumo squats. We get real wide with the feet. We're going to turn our toes out about 45 degrees, stick our hips back, and push our knees out as hard as we can. And this next movement's just like that figure four position, but this is called a pigeon stretch. You keep your back leg nice and straight, both hips square to the ground. All right, and get in that figure four position. After that, we're going to get into some Spider-Mans. It's pretty much that same front lunge position. We want to keep that back leg as straight as we can and push our hips down towards the ground. So next one's a single leg rocking frog stretch. It's going to stretch out our groin. So we're going to get in a split position, straighten one leg out. All right, you're going to keep your back nice and flat, push your butt back towards your heel. We're going to go on both sides for that one as well. So make sure your knees aren't all cut up. And this is just a side view, so you can kind of get the full picture of how it should look. Again, you should kind of feel this in the upper outside portion of your glutes as you get into the stretch. And here we are, Spider-Mans. Okay. And one more time with the rocking frog stretch. Notice you're going to stay nice and parallel to the ground and push your butt back towards your heels. And finish off with a sprint or two. If you guys enjoyed the video, if you want more content, make sure you go over to YouTube and subscribe to our channel. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me. My information is right below. See you next week.